Don't teach him to fuck with us.
Yeah, right. Can't argue with that.
And we're talking about how Donner would handle actors that were difficult or had one of those act-defying type questions, right?
Yeah.
My favorite solution to one of those moments comes from director Walter Hill, who someone in the cast from Southern Comfort told me this over lunch one day. And by the way, an unheralded and very good movie if you haven't seen it, Southern Comfort. And speaking of which, the star of it, Keith Carradine, just did A Christmas Carol with us.
That's right.
Yeah. But one of the cast members said, I had a question on a line in the script, just a question about delivery. And so I walked up to Walter Hill and said, excuse me, my script was open to the page, to the scene. I said, Walter, I just want to ask you about this line right here. Walter puts the Sharpie in his mouth, in his teeth, pulls it out, pulls off the cap, draws a line with the Sharpie right through the line of dialogue and says, what's your question? One of the all-time great. And now I can see why Milius and him work so well together on things like Extreme Prejudice and whatnot, because their personalities, and it sounds like Donner fits this pretty good. Their personalities are identical to, there's like a nonsense meter.
Yeah.
Where they have like an emergency shutoff mechanism that they just flip in their brain and be like, you know what, we're not even going to talk about this. Zip, you're out.
Well, Walter's violence was a lot more realistic than, Dick's was kind of comic book violence in a way, but Walter's was, and in fact, I'd seen some of Walter's films when I was at Amblin, and he just struck me as being, I thought he's going to be rough. He's going to, he probably hates people and chews people like me up. And Stephen was renovating his beach house, which was right next door to Walter's beach house, and it caught fire. And it took part of Walter's newly renovated beach house with it. So Stephen had me go out with the Beta movie camera and to film the damage for the insurance. And I thought, he's going to see me coming. He's going to know I'm from Stephen's office, and he's going to shoot me, from what happened. He couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
Very low tone. Just, resigned to what had happened, but was just very nice. And I, it still doesn't compute in my mind that a guy can do films with such violence in them and be so laid back and, and nice.
Yeah. He's got a gear that's pure grit. And it's funny because Michael Perry was telling me there was a conversation about how he always wears sunglasses even inside. Peter Jason, by the way, has done 12 movies with Walter Hill.
Oh my
12.
word.
Yeah. So that tells you how solid Peter Jason is. But somebody asked, like, why does he wear sunglasses all the time? And Michael Perry goes, Streets of Fire. They did Streets of Fire together, I guess, or something. But Michael Perry says, he cries a lot. Another friend of mine was on like 48 Hours and goes, okay, this gun is going to rip my arm off, Walter. I don't want to use this gun. And my buddy Sonny Landham was the villain in that and loved Walter. But one of the guys goes, this cannon is going to take my arm right off at the shoulder. I can't fire. It's not even realistic. And Walter's like, we're not making a documentary, and that's your gun. That was it. And it's like, and so, the next question, the follow-up question is, so what'd you do? And he's like, well, I immediately left with my gun. It's like, you got to love it, though. It's just so funny. There's just so many laughs about all that.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.